Louis, we made the show was here. I'm an how would the other copy meetings or Mazuko school, papa, and you know, in some BCs here, overturning them. Because all back, Louis, back, Prempenia, the idea. Definitely, PT meeting, and Namoka Becca say, Bank for General meeting. What I say, PT meeting to any yes. Secondary schools park and I know on a shame because there be no swan, there's no assembly hall, conference or BNO. So yours is always better. True Musami. Over the Enra, Reverend Tim Fojo, Edebeka home, Ebi and Nina. And yet teachers manual Mukako. A Kame say, right from the presidency, Banino. Either somebody's hands are tied behind their back, they can't do fuck about it. And now to say, the pushing and who they change yet to make us into your say a minute. And I say, Chidi was authority on that. By if anything, Constitutional Review Committee by almost making some recommendation be or more trick or minor great to say, baby, we are chrono. Sir, into TBC or see the cat and quada and can come over school. Say, we are say one. Oba, which many feelings, Ama will be. Ubino, Reverend Tim Fojo Ubino, say your bearman and your feelings are also more bar, what an young point, Ramano. And now your banswan, as soon as I feelings no, Emma Bema. The Ghana 4 books for each church say Ubino, a bit in my wow Uncle Bar, and now wow Uncle Bema, which according to the proponents of anti-LGBT bill, which say this is not cultural, it has no religious and cultural foundation in the country, and it must not be taught in schools. But can we just use these politicians, one MP, is as a public or two? Funny enough, no one can 8 a push for this same bill when even their own party was in power. Today, the other 6 have all gone silent, including some George. Every single no intend the one bill. Louis, do we have hope, say Ghana buying between me and your babies was our trail car touch, say, where you get some of you, I'm a young moggy so. I'm a school for granted because you know dear, but I didn't do school them of you. What can I say?
Was he as a parent? But first of all, is this some George away? Because I remember I say Mahama will know no peace if he hasn't signed the LGBT act into law. No, I think that after the election when he was even given the position as a communication. He said that one of the bloggers, no Kobusano, said Mahama would have no peace.
And that was before the election.
So that was before
when the president had met the clergy. He stated that in his communication.
Because I see him not talking about this.
He's not talking about it.
It's not a political gimmick. No more play. They were just. Well, sometimes I blame the MPP communication team when they allow certain things to happen, and then when it's time for them to, pay back, they don't. But right now they are quiet. What's in team for nobody is talking about this LGBT.
It's because of the election.
Well, they have to have a team for that and a team for this.
That's one of the problem of the MPP. You see, they've all shifted their attention. That's why
they can't multitask.
I blame the national executive because these are something that
I was number Miracle Abuaji.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Until at some point, no more blame money say.
People's Forum.
He deserves it. But right now, only him and then
I have a take on that.
Yes. He deserves every penny he got.
But Nabi is a useless organizer.
Where's the Nabi?
He's not doing anything to organize a party.
Where is the MPP communication?
I don't know where
they are all campaigning because there are a lot of issues that are happening. Look at the way the NDC
Miracle holding on the communication. Right now, nobody's MPP is really communicating.
For permit us and let's digress a little bit. Sir, I have no idea. No. You know me for long. I have a take on that because what do we say? Even though what Miracle is doing is good for his party, but he is not the right person to be doing that.
Yes.
So, what is it that the right person?
I don't know why he's still the national organizer of the party. Somebody may Professor Frimpong what is
what Professor Frimpong Boateng did.
Yes.
was wrong, but was correct.
That was disrespectful anyway.
Yes,
but he has a case.
Case because the party needs overhaul.
Yes,
right from the entire
police station.
They need an overhaul because overcall police station executives and then constituency executives. Some cannot even read and write, and they are there occupying positions.
Yeah,
and an MPP we know is an elite. Political party,
and they are even
a middle class political party that is not turning into something else. And the honor professor but he is wrong. He was wrong.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are penny. You stay behind. You go to the party office. Then you speak to whoever is there. You advise the person. As an elderly, or more far, then probably you have the cause to speak.
And can come out and disrespect everybody.
And disrespect everybody. Say you are fake. You don't know that. That would the party no name general secretary don't belong to the party. Exactly. So, but coming back to the LGBTQ plus, I've always insisted, say, Mimi, I don't care about obi sexual preference. I am somebody, I don't really care about that. So what's honest also obey. If we ask BBI, there are consequences. When it's time for you to reap the fruit that you sow, no, you reap it.
You reap it yourself.
You reap it yourself. And I've always say, government need business so much, getting involved into the BBI or one bedroom. Not saying say I support this or I don't support this.
I agree with you.
I believe say a idea Sam George made this even more popular doing what he did than staying back and then playing ostrich say it doesn't exist because near what Ghana Hano there wasn't so much brouhaha, so much noise.
My question was, how was it a menace?
It wasn't even near a menace or something like that. Near do that deterrent fact that Sam George he just did it for political and now what I've noticed as a parent, I'm a baby, my mom, no more didn't come on and say, because if we can't also sit down and say things are not happening in this world.
Yeah.
Share, we will be share movie in times back or a movie recently. Maybe but so share most of the series that were being viewed on Amazon Prime, on Netflix, and all those, always the gay couples were the minority.
Yeah.
Either they are black, either they are Mexican, either what Chinese, I say. Yeah. And then they have done that for long.
To conscientize those minority communities.
Exactly. Exactly.
The empire, they try to make it look as if
I deliberately say maybe to check, say, is because I had that concept. Say, my movie 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always see this minority. Your mom acting as those the gay couple.
It's a gender.
And I sat down to really check. Say, go back, way back. At the time, even that thing was even taboo.
Taboo, the whole world.
They started with the minority.
Yeah.
So I can say there's an agenda, ulterior motive to work us in a way we will be extinct or will be in terms of population, in terms of population growth, we will shrink, and then because as of now, America and the UK is white is turning minority in America very soon. In England, the whites are turning minority very soon. And today, then we have to find a means, a mechanism to make sure that you don't reproduce so much and become minority by default or something like that. Wow. It is a winning cranny din komo as a parent, me teenagers or me kakra or when you talk to them and then they begin to open up, then you know that we have to really talk to our kids.
Because they seem to know more about some of these things.
We have to really talk to our kids.
Where? Is it in the classroom or in the house?
Not in the classroom. As a parent, we can't leave this to teachers. Teachers are not supposed to teach sexuality to children. I don't believe a teacher job to teach sexuality to children.
Yeah.
One other baby as a parent, you have to sit your kid down. Say this and that brings this. That and that brings that. And as a kid, this is your responsibility. These are your obligations. These are your do's. These are your don't. when the kids go out, and nobody can convince the kid otherwise.
I agree with that. I think
no one can convince the kids otherwise. But we all who play ostriches now, Baba on trying to have a conversation, and then you turn out no, these are not the. This is not what's supposed to as a parent. Then the Oba kofa solace in the peer. Once you start here, and they will be say peer pressure in social studies.
Yeah.
What we taught?
Is it by we no peer pressure for on and also.
You see, at that time we were focused on we and all that. They were
on my transfer glorify new we you need to move free.
Okay. And my advice, they say, as a parent, be no your teenager, or even not just teenagers. Now, starting 9 years, from 9 years going, they are really sharp. AI world, they are really sharp. Talk to them, have a conversation with them. Let them know. I remember I was telling my kids, say, the same thing I make maybe no or Louis now may dropping off. And then we were having a lot of conversation. And then she was telling me her innocence and then the kind of chat some of their friends have, and then school in term kakra, so she's a little younger, so she can't have a certain conversation. She believes sometimes she's not supposed to be near them because the kind of conversation she hears in class.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, I was trying to encourage her, say, sometimes it's good to hear those things.
Yeah.
But to act on them, you know there are consequences.
Yeah.
When you do those things, you know there are consequences. So you must know what to do and what not to do. You must know why you are there. You must know, say, you are not all from the same home.
Yeah.
And then when you completed SHS, you know, say, most of your classmates, you are not seeing them again.
Yeah.
That's same way when you complete your SHS. There are some you'll never see again.
Yeah.
So are you going to let them influence your life? And then you never see them again? You destroyed your life.
Yeah.
And she said no.
So finally, teacher manual or more printy, the way I would see put you as a me, and young Ghanaians and your parents will feel. And young parents be as they open minded, said the open so your day. A mind or my or you're conscious or mind piano, percent them quaratiano, or mine also take part of it. That's why the grandma spend about 8 hours in the public school, built by government, with teachers paid by government and everything provided by government, so that we parents, will take the rest of the hours. Time I can baby feel by 4 p.m. No, I interact by 4 or 5 hours. Or to the next morning or so if a buying is taking a step in helping with that part of education, because all this while I buy the education, say become crepa. Very few parents in that they cry on one about homework and so training. So don't you think, say, maybe the hypocrisy around it now? As a party, we know papa and takra question you to know and now is in INC. Yen from you say, baby, we are say chrono. Say, buying name, a woofo nan come and tea money. The Bonifan holistic education is a to become a mature person. Unya. Because baby, okay, Netflix series and cartoons. First, Nay, Bema, and Oba. So we are for cry any sexual relations cry, no more cry. It's about a man, a boy, and a girl child. No, my year. And then, in such a way, say, a mammy, a member, at the point, no more film.
Yeah. And then, like I said, always the minority
and
play that
character. To also, I know your brainwash
is acceptable in the
minority,
black
community, in the Chinese community. So we are Chinese now behavior. But now what my is say, what this are the no from 50 years ago. No, as a matter of fact, Europe, almost all populations are going down. Even Italy, first no South Africans. First, you go Italian Huma, Papa Bako, never bear 14. At the age of 7, to me won't go there. It doesn't matter. 50 crown or benima or now. And you know, body, as I tell them when South Africa women or more Tomo for the other. Never be today. Italian no about to me be 42. After an 1. Why home be come?
Yeah.
Nicono 42 no me on my home crab you. One member and then France, UK, they are all into some of this amount of population shrinking. It's in a year to me queen, or to me for COVID by it's in a catch the now jai massam. Now, Bansu Jabe Masama, Ebema Awo Akofo. Now, can't we use all these things to teach our child to know where we are right now, since we ba was one now the buy, we ba also not buy. Meanwhile, then to hear say can once.
No confuse, kakra ebedi enti. Ebe wa kope grants. Where last was it 2022, 2023, you know there were mass exodus of nurses and doctors.
It's still continuing.
Still continuing, but at the pace they were so alarmed, they were raising too much alarm. No?
Yeah.
I always say it's not true. Because you're training so much nurses, so much doctors, even employing them become difficult.
Yeah.
But because of your culture and trust, there was shortage of nurses, shortage of doctors. You ever made grant kakra $2 million, $4 million from UNICEF and all that. We cannot. We need a culture and trust. There was shortages, and so you brackly say Ghana from our nurses and doctors going out there. Same way our education system is. What I say?
Yeah.
We want to compare grants. Who compare a form of interventions.
Yeah.
Okay, loan credit so bit and sometimes we have a bit of a say. But most of educations are interventions or grant.
Yeah.
And to compare for France, who compare for Europe, if you will tell you what you have to do before they will give you that grant. If you want my money, then these are my terms. What I say, put this in your education sector, teach this in your education sector before I give you this grant. We can't afford to have. Yes. 2 million, 3 million, at best, maybe $50 million, $25 million. And then they tell you what to come and teach in your classroom. We have no say but to accept. And then now they're trying to blame the NACAP. Say they did no. That's a lie. Fat lie.
Very well. The Monday somebody wanted to implicate President Mahama. I said, Mafla, it doesn't matter in the next foreseeable future. It doesn't matter who becomes president. See the Pastor Mensa Otabe Krabe president here. So I said we after so. Chidi, same question with a little twist. We hear CG as a parent and a citizen now. Ono say adusua of you no there. Or say parents with the Jim church emergency baby. We are say con bema bought to her and now grown wood. Hidden bill. Who know what a friend no one and in the agro bill. Yes, sir. The next time no matter how I drink. I buy so who say. And now more boy I actually a man who say. More jam parents no kwa. A lot of the homes in Africa are dysfunctional. What I say? Maybe I'm crowded down, maybe I'm papa foreign mammy for the down crowd. And may be hardly meet. You how many homes in a whole table who did a dinko? Never. You get a point. It's say better thing gradia, young fan count Madusha Motion school. And this one is for senior high school. Senior high school, you're a teenager. Very soon you're going to be a young adult. Do we need these things in our books? Na yenchina nkura no montia sesere be yen ko shembra o man level said ye Sam George mu e propose yi ana wo can say.
All right, question me that say I will speak from my sociological background. Okay. And in sociology, is a study of human behavior and how they change
over time.
Now, sociology then what I said the basis of society is a family. And marriage is marriage that forms family.
Yeah.
And through that, evolution and revolution comes. So at every juncture, there's a way the society behaves. So from your era, internet started evolving. But the kind of things, CJ Ekasem, the kind of things that you were seeing is different from what we started seeing when we got exposed to the internet. It is your parent that socialize you. Because that time, parents in your time amount or ejuma. But as time goes on, the nature of ejuma heading as a son. So the sense a certain parent able to share ejuma on befi no other office. Ade channel hiding wasaba. This conversation started on in the early 80s in America and Europe. And they were using the minority. Because at that time they thought say
I was have a minority in this name because of
they thought say this minority any say. And if they don't take care, they can override their population. So we are using them to discourage them from producing more money. But as time went on, now the question is, Idea be PA book me. A day be PM.
Nipa na di shame.
Nipa na di shame. But let's ask ourselves, say, Omo Musuano, do they know it already or they don't know?
I want to believe that they know.
They know. How did they know?
Through these channels.
So the question is, what is socializing our children? And then a man buying almost free financing is the internet.
Yeah. Books, movies.
And then probably
kind book.
They spend much hours on phone.
Yeah.
Now crab it me catch 2004 it me catch whatever penny is our last one. A movie. You see where the internet is shaping all these things, you know.
Yeah.
Your man is the more on the internet. Facebook or Namo or who or call YouTube or who what where they know or search you read about it or who
and the streaming platform
and the streaming platforms where movie or who or cartoon or who. So as a parent, you need to ask yourself, say, what now what it's about? But when they say child crying the crampon for so you know why they want you say
yeah.
Now I guess it's here about one of them. As a parent, you need to always update yourself. Say, where is the world heading to? And what kind of children am I raising for that world now aircon? Many parents are ignorant about
what many? Almost all of us.
All of them. Do you know why? They still live in the primitive structure.
Yes.
Cannot create child crown. As a parent, you need to understand, say, we are assassin. Yes, me, I always say, it's a mobile mechanic criteria, and they say, when you reach your puberty stage, I'll tell you the truth, say, if you engage in this sexual act, the end product is
either you get pregnant or you get disease or you get nothing.
And I like the advice CJ give, cannot create your over. Food. But that friend of yours, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, too many influence. There's a problem with and we have got to understand that now HIV transmits more anal and sex than that vaginal penetration.
So here it was not it's not direct for a
direct entry.
Exiting
exit. It might as well be for exit around with them a free bone to. But for entry, we have for protocols being. But offer exit will room direct. So so as a parent, you need to pay much attention to the kind of things that you're managing.
Why are we making it a parental issue? Because you're a sociologist, you know full well that you admitted right now that over 90% or many people in my homes are dysfunctional. Now, if you live in a third world country where most families are dysfunctional, a conscious government will want to take it upon itself to educate their children that this is the way the world is going. What is wrong with that? Why should that be a problem that we have something like this in the textbook of a teacher's manual that he is going to be based on to educate your kid that you don't have time to educate?
You see, and also another problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem. What has a problem now?
You see, and I'm gonna say, as a parent, now the government too should have known better. Say, irrespective, say we are a third world country, there are certain things we need to stick to your values. No matter what, India will never lose its value.
India, gay people are getting roots there.
They can
even go on parade there.
Yes, but the kind of stereotype from the mom over there, they are not so right. You matter what, there are certain things going on by the society.
Exactly. That is why, now let's educate ourselves here. The whole idea of protecting minorities.
And also hiring.
Wait, it's not necessarily to condone or encourage their behavior. Are you following?
And that's the problem that we always say we are protecting the minority.
Yes.
We are protecting the minority.
Yes.
But we end up worsening our situation.
Now, we want to even worsen their situation by putting it down in paper, in a book form. What these so-called proper sexual human rights, the nice Sam George and then it was a complete human rights abuse. Listen, almost person incriminating nature. Why is the camera somewhere else? Say, you're trying to be spectrum. I said, "Leon Grabby, I want first name from Yusuba 32. Oh, yeah, what means the social life, no, and your work on you are expecting that. There's a whole spectrum, Ubia, baby, what that. Ebi dey milder, ebi dey say. It's in a be calm, a be hot tempered, a be
introvert, extrovert.
Instrument, thank you. In a spectrum. Sex is a spectrum. What is a be I'm a cast of floor. A be can say, a be sex pa. And yet, Suban Bonnie is or sex pa. San and the soup.
That's the spectrum.
The spectrum no or no extreme end of Bonibia. Obiso, some when you gay when every but on pesters of worry. There are sometimes couple between Kushia. Nabako complains about compensation, the Bacos complains about compensation. They forget say that is the variety of nature. We can't help it. What say even for us straight people, say we see a pemba na ba or so pemba manograno. You will go petting. We have to understand that sexuality is not straight jacket. Are you following me? Etino, ekayama ya hokwan ni ehu se. Adena, obrane to meet now, and they have a power on father chinere, but boa 2 weeks no and die. Obi so dear, says Anopano, Selbana and Yawa and Piabont India, that's what we must mood nephew. One way about the time I must is PM, no macobe 3 or 4, and I do the better of MI. You can hear all these complaints. It tells you the spectrum. If you say accessory, what you know, or no one pebema, or no one peba, or baby be or to or a normal human being, be a many be on no bay. Just in the social life, or an answer one person, and or no hairstyle like a book of pen most straight in Onyebi, because one fan could be a true. You get my point. And the be a homo no cry there, and I say. Or on a pet, the young Kuna, so a bema or pebema or about, but so gays and lesbians are homosexual. It be a bisexual, between no bar, amengo, between the bema mango. And it means we are queer. Be me problem near from, and say LGBTQ, no, if it's in no problem. Those who want to transform to become this is where I think there is a little bit of madness. But the normal first ones now. Bi, straight, or heterosexual and homosexual, and manageable. We have to be able to, open our minds around it. Erona Ghana is like an empathy, baby. Meanwhile, baby, I will pass all the crowd because we'll be on Beko School, be a Francis for Mount Grant and a crown on your France or Beko.
Yes, and
there will be gay people crying no more. So, who parents don't to fear about gay people? Who government systems don't crying about gay people in the brutra? Or call no kutuma
if I'm getting you are trying to say we should adjust ourselves to it and start educating our people. Say this is the kind of people who are mobile society. Our culture frowns on it.
Yes.
So this is how you need to behave around them. Though you don't like them.
Yes.
But baby, when you meet them,
don't discriminate them.
Don't be influenced by their activity. But this is a way you can work with them to ensure that
you keep your
son. That is right.
That's all about it.
But we also look at say nipen in a untimi and direction will be out to one direction.
Yeah.
There are certain people, no matter what, they'll be influenced. But I think, say, honey, I've gotten your point. Honey, dear, I agree. Say, nipa ba ako pen obey influence.
Or best
But look, I did pay.
Fufu is legal.
Yes.
Me what?
But when you be an epe.
But
even in our society, or my man, also remember me, could be see. Look at how ebi obo onye gay.
But they come born on
man be or a tomboy.
Yeah.
On pe
lesbian.
On your lesbian.
But or a tomboy.
Or a tomboy.
Or dressing the boyfriend.
So in sociology, you free be thesis, antithesis, and thesis. Thesis. And that didn't me example just marriage is between a man and a woman. The antithesis is the opposite of it. As time goes on, our society dying. You see our young queen, your banner be maybe. Now I get me or banner or bemane abua bemane or banny entity. So now marriage is a union between a man and a woman, any I be defining the for any ever. Young queen already exposed to
all of these things already.
So where we have gotten to is the truth era.
Exactly.
Let us be truthful to them. Say this is what the world
is going.
Or this is the new chapter of the world. And this is how it is going. So we don't like it though, but we are creating an awareness for you. So maybe some of them will find themselves in our side of
They're already here.
They're already here. But since we don't like them, let us accommodate them.
Instead of beating them, arresting them, reporting them to the police like some judge is trying to propose in the books, that is not the way to go.
Somebody at the obey or them and family.
What do I care?
The obey them. But what you are doing in your bed shouldn't influence me outside.
And it shouldn't go to Nkura.
Yes.
Why? Because street and I say, oh, by the way,
you can do whatever thing with your wife in the room.
Yes.
But it's a sound never want to
what
violate? Why I say so? If I may get you out, we need to educate our kids.
That is what government is trying to do. And you people are not frustrating government.
The government is trying to do that, but you see how the government pushes certain things to the people. No? And then I have a problem. No. The problem is because this gender, I already know.
Yeah.
I've learned. I did population studies in my professor. Professor Christopher said, he's one day try to communicate and find him here, and he will educate you on these things.
Okay.
Only beats now class.
I wish to have it.
Victoria, South Africa, and they nearly lynch him in the class just because free Ghana now or one person such an acting. But he was able to sit down in class with them.
South Africa is gay.
Yes. He studied in Germany.
Yeah.
He was able to accommodate them and send them. Yes, we don't like them, but let us create an awareness. This is the kind of people that we are having in the world now, even though we don't like it, but this is how we should behave around them to make sure that their behavior and attitude doesn't affect us. But looking at how this government push out on it, some of their communicators address this issue and even pointing to some of the then government officials that they were interested in those gay activities to the extent that when during the festive season the Flaster House, the
Salatin system, no, we buy on one the same colors.
The hypocritical nature of Ghanaians.
We can spend them on the hypocritical part, but Tiwi. When we say Israel, godly country. Thank you.
That's what Christianity.
NESD, any other in free buy. Even Kremofokra claim some parts of Israel.
Religion started from there.
All right. Israel.
No. It's religion. They don't start from Israel.
No.
Well, they make some maybe started.
No.
Let me cast me.
Now we are talking about Christianity.
That Makai.
Israel technically they don't even practice Christianity. They are Judaism. Yes, they don't.
Christians a minority.
Very few practice Christianity.
But Judaism so Ephraim no upon gay. It's your brother say. Experience also Israel from free. Large of them are coming from Europe.
Yes.
Ukraine, Poland, even Russia, and in these new countries now, in Germany, of course, and UK. Judaism, Yameno, Yahweh, no, Ompenema, Sir, Mika Israel. Yes, you are about later, so, Ohemunzwa, I say, Onoso, Empene, Babiasa. But Yatra Europe, Yehunubi, Ewa England. If there was a time, Nemra was say, we gear, it me and Maumra Pasu prosecute you. A war panier said, Obey a war Bema now, I obey Bema Samkakra. Oh no, Lukuma Lanturin, or that £50 note. Meanwhile, he helped them fight Hitler in the Second World War. They killed him just like that. Wait, it's Yanamundia. Judaism no better machine, Mamma Munis or Mumbai, and I'm Mamis or Mumbai. And the Christian is of Bias, Catholics and also. Almost any. So you know what they do? You can marry, you can do your gay marriage or lesbian marriage outside the country. But Samopa, say Moya control and number citizens here, which means na worry. Are you seeing the difference? On one Shirasumau. Judge Bian Simon say, Wawari we Israel by I recognize it. They must all England, Oko US, Oko Infako, Waranamosumo couple, Namuba, Israel. Israel's young Quantra Casemina, Babetna, any over baby. The over bay or man, we haven't seen the way no more. You get my point. So, Nami might be ever say, Segana by so by Yemra, I streamline gay is a man. And yes, the church and says, what is will be gay was a mark of report to my police. So, who will be a gay reporting to the nearest police station? There be. It should be said, I'm some person worry anyaha. Yen the intimate my court and I, software and I, Imam behind our warriors. So, the Biabaqua warno, oh, Modi bar, we may recognize. I use the word may.
May, okay.
And so be ye be. Now, ye, Bema or bar, our bro 18 years and about going on. only to me say other one sa e ko kan say me hu say wa fit ne yonko be ma no ntimi kwa akobo because obi fi oba no aye mo no but wo mra ne de why in such a way say do musi share no say metimpo anaka yeti akra yedi nkomo yikra na e fa ge hu no e wo set ka Sam George wo baby o chim ye you offer e ko be put no off. That is not an advanced kind of thinking. So we have double jeopardy. First of all, our kind of family systems here, a lot of them are dysfunctional. Not many parents even sit their children down to discuss what we are going to eat in the night. Mm-hmm. Now, let alone about private life, my babies, I say, one if you want to, one in me, I will for 1 year. It's unheard of. It's a buying father to wants to say, microphone produce Ghana for you have to feed the European markets. You school for it, they say, doctors here in home, and I don't know call Europe, US, Canada, Europe, Australia, these advanced countries here, power coin now, or by to do it's no. Mon penifon de moye waste we mugidi enti ye kakra monte ne mo grana monte to mo de e so mo monte asese grofo sei bi wo wiase ba bi a omo ho de eje omutum omo betima be hia na omo atena aye adwuma omo ba kwan be so no betima manage omo to go forward. So if why is this a problem for anybody?
I understand you, so we should teach them that this is a crop of people where we are seeing. Yes, we can live with them, but we shouldn't find a way to legalize their acts in our country. Mm-hmm. We don't like it. We can't
give them guys unfettered freedom.
No,
Debbie.
We can do business.
Yes,
we can transact.
So your doctor now you get anybody.
We can do everything, but we can't legalize your act for you.
I get that, and I say legalities now. What responsibilities be in the legalities itself? You being a gay person and a lesbian person. Also, what they do, I saw fuller, one fuller, also who bit much. But the animal they know the bias bill in the it was everything human right abuse. Complete. So
the reason why you see it as a human is because of the primitive nature of our society.
But we are not primitive anymore. We are aspiring not to be primitive.
Yeah, free ho.
Thank you.
You free ho bank account.
So again, those today. I know you support. Do you hear
kind prempe or?
I think fancy pim.
Fancy pim, yeah.
But I say, you mean actually. Of course, you see it in the hand side today, but we should think ahead. Say, I am not sending my child to school to come and protect certain values I used to have 10 years ago when I was a church elder. No, the child may even not end up in my church. Then they can say, Jazzy, no, but you party or when you go to call the other party.
Our norms, values, and custom and everything, we should protect it.
Who is saying no?
It's something that we should.
How does being gay affect your culture?
I was actually saying, say, near enough laws are dealing with being gay and being lesbian, because our law states say. Marriage is
between man and woman.
So it was there.
It was there.
The noise Sam George brought into the scene was not necessary. And I think he has come to understand, say, it wasn't necessary.
I was telling him.
He won't be man enough to apologize. Say, what I did was unnecessary.
Okay. So in society that we are all aware. One or the other, we have experienced those gay and lesbian from the experience or mother. But also what was but the NSG kind the conscience and not gonna for you should in your Muslim performance. The issue around it now is how they portray the issue. That's why that gender identity definition by people start is the way they projected the thing now. A man say be enter how or my obia to the sense that the clergy. It was a contributing factor for the Ekufu.
Would you want it in the children's books so that they will taught in school about it, or you don't want that?
I always stand by the truth. I always say, I will teach the child the way he should go. I have my values. I don't like gay people. I don't like that. I don't want my child to end up that way. So gender is still a man and a woman, but there are some people who think that this is who a gender is. Yes, they may influence you, but this is who a gender is. You are a man. You are born as a man.
Answer my question. Do you think we have to teach this in schools?
Why not?
Okay.
Let us teach them. Let us teach them to be aware of the kind of people who we are seeing and the way they think. But in as much as we are teaching them, we should teach them in a way to maintain our morals, customs, and values.
Excellent.
So we are gay, we are gay, we are lesbian, because we are still we are able to keep that our traditions
intact.
It is a idea when you so what I say person be penny power society in man.
Exactly. And as what you see in one. CJ can say, so I know yours is so idealistic. Say, I wish it was like that everywhere. That parents will have that kind of special bond with their own children to the point say, I can't even say be shared your school with you, but when you say be shared with you.
When you say enquiry we na I know some parents because of how new parents.
Who forgot your parents say
approach you.
Unufu ho eyi.
Sure. In a men are working.
On say and only a old style of parenting I adapt some parents, modern parents are still using that.
Oh yes.
Akrabe ade and your mom fee. Instead of the present parent or no be institute form of punishment no. Either as the tablet you withdraw, either as a TV or be do no. Or be catch up and say, oh papa baba beto. Papa no so call ya catch na no atama ba. You understand that? Sakrade ya de now one can't no one punish na me ba na catch na. I'll just take whatever I have with me, go and sit there and then pretend I didn't hear. Because I will not be the old one in the house. A parent and a job for both of us. It will your minimum, I'll be the one to discipline the child. Or you should be the one to discipline the child. And that's why come they say in chronic bistro more parenting because Papa na and Kayesa or bonded with the crown has been instituted in such a way say where Kakai will feel because on say on the bar say yes will be a baby far. I mean getting somewhere to hide because the man of the house is coming.
And
but the man of the house actually means to say your children should feel safe with you when you are there. But on the contrary, then the kids are happy. When you are there, everybody is quiet. That shouldn't be the case.
Also, your parents wasn't coming about to me no.
Yes.
And I say, Akrabia could do baby, not do share school and do share the fee. AI conflict now. What you pick
you pick from the
So what you
what kind of my father said.
The only time I will pick it from outside is when the parents are not there to have a conversation with the kid. Then the first point the child will go is the PS.
Close peer
growing up, no, I'm saying threefold.
Yeah, maturation process.
Yeah,
infancy.
There are certain points your child seeks no knowledge from you.
Yes,
oh yes.
I am matured after 25.
It's not even 25.
When they get to the SHS,
the early teens now.
Exactly.
25 in the air time, no.
Yeah.
Now it's the early teens. 14, 15, you have lost your child. If you don't have a conversation, you need relationship with your child, it's gone. You can't build it again.
Yeah. I have a female friend here. People struggle to work with her because of her communication deficits. So when I got to understand her background that onoka divorce, the father was also not having time for her. So she picked up certain things from the colleagues. To know Kasa to make us meet you when you say normal. But I find a normal say a normal. But over drawn attention to it alone why mistaken. No say challenge you. Why? Because the PS in the and a channel. As a parent, you need to be open to your kid. Let them be your friend. That's why we call it a family. They are yours. Teach them the way can of channel or coast no continue before. I say very jet to do a channel what for theory sake what but on practice it because what channel the end.
Okay. Now we have about I think we have spent our 2 hours, but because today is the last day we are doing in the morning, somebody was asking for extra 30 minutes before we even started. I don't know whether it has been granted to you already because we have some outstanding issues here right now. We are talking point on the game matter and say Yeni a yempe who teacher for books winning grand and do some at the secondary school level. No. We may have to reconsider because there's a need for it. Every conscious parent or man maybe him say, and the man or more can one seven. In one way or the other, Wakrana would fancy or 14 or 15 or 16 was who da. One casa crown translating in the home combo. So wouldn't me a bino has a responsibility to take your child that way. Because was school dime a crowd or them free would you or think very uniforms as I'm going to do a trial like be a fan of one. And the other occasion will share the area own our baby with this. A whole air dear back politicians, they would do much at the BS form. It CJ Pasenka wa parent no tamoto so me so miss penisa na so me say parent do do na da je kura re we ba makura na kura no be indi no unni adaje mo and na wadwumenti bo kura be fia oba Friday Saturday Sunday ahomache ana Sunday anajo also osako it teachers will have to feel in like they have always done since education and our public education by we'll end it there. I'm sure say it's an emerging story and definitely next week we can pick up on it again now.